Hello everyone and welcome back to Don't Starve. Where we had left off, we had decided to abandon our quest for insanity. It had not been turning out very well for us. We were just going batshit nutty, and unfortunately, that was not going to work out for us in the long run. I am going to cook up this pumpkin real fast because I don't like our health situation. You'll see down in my inventory, right meow, I'm carrying rocks with me right now so that I can considerably expand my effective radius out here in the snow. I'm going to start putting little outposts here and there where I've basically got a campfire. Maybe I'll surround it possibly with wood walls, something of that nature. I'm having trouble actually right now telling, it looks like there's water underneath right there. I wonder if I can walk off into the ocean right now and get killed. We're going to leave the crank thing on the ground right there, but right now we need to go up and finish breaking down this pig city. If we don't make it, we don't make it, but we have to get something done. The main problem that I've been running into with winter is that it really kills your desire. Oh my god, and tentacles don't seem to care about winter. The one issue that I've been running into is that it's difficult to keep your workflow organized in winter because you have so little time that it's very, very difficult to figure out where you can fit in getting certain important tasks done. And really, this is a game about optimizing your time spent because as you go along, the game's going to get harder and harder. So you really want to have things in place to keep yourself safe after a little while. And there's some seeds right there. I'm not going to abandon those to the wilds. Every little bit of food helps when you're in the winter, so let's take a look. We're almost up here, and it's very difficult to tell really where I should be right now. It looks like the pigmen are just wandering around because I destroyed all their homes like a big fat jerk, but what can you do? It was necessary. It was for the greater good, so let's break down the rest of these houses. They really don't seem to care about it. I'm kind of wondering if the developer is ever going to consider making them get angry about you breaking down their house, because if somebody came and hit my house with a sledgehammer, I might be marginally frustrated. You might actually be able to elicit some negative emotion out of me if you just sledgehammered my walls. On the other hand, if you did it in an aesthetically pleasing way, I might not get angry. I might be like, oh man, thanks for putting in the new window, but I doubt it. I strongly, strongly doubt it. Now we have a limited amount of time that we can be out in the snow before we're going to start losing health. So I think we've got the entire thing torn down. It looks like we've got a nice little... What did he just eat off the ground? Yikes, we do need some web. So let me set up a permanent campfire right here. That's what we'll do next. And so that's going to give us a little outpost out here that we can function around. And we'll just stoke the flames a little bit. And let's see if we can coax some of these spiders to attack us while we're out here. So... well, they have warrior spiders and our health is kind of low. Never mind, that's a terrible idea. If I could actually get the pigs to attack it, that would be a better plan. Oh, there's another house down here. Hello, pig house. I happen to have a hammer. And we could use everything they have on offer. So we're going to just loot everything. I think I saw loot fall behind that tree. Yes, extra stone blocks. There we are. And so we're going to swoop back by our fire. And it looks like he's actually getting into a fight with them down there. We're going to swoop back by our fire, and then we're going to head out. Are the pigs gathering around the fire? That's cool. That's a new feature. I've never seen them actually do that. And we're going to see if we can make it back to our camp before nightfall, because I always feel like I'm wasting huge amounts of time if I'm, you know, just sitting around not getting anything done. So I would like to transport most of these materials back to the place from whence we came. I am going to drop this extra stone on the ground to pick up some manure on the way, because why not? And then we'll come back up and mine out the rest of these nodes in a little bit, but for now, I am going to grab some of the basic necessities that we always need, namely grass. Can't go more than a little bit of time without grass. We are going to need ropes and things of that nature in the future, so we should probably knock that out now and eliminate it as a need. Hopefully, winter does not start to bite at us. We've done pretty well so far. I can see that if you came into winter without the appropriate clothing, you would be hosed, because from what I've heard... I was actually reading that description for just a second there, but from what I've heard, you actually only have like 45 seconds away from a fire or something of that nature if you end up outside of your camp zone in the winter without any kind of protective clothing. Now, I am going to try and stay on the road as best as possible here. It's hard to see underneath all this, but I am going to try and stick to it because I think a single hit would kill us right now from a tentacle. We are pretty low on health. I'm not liking our healing situation. We are definitely healing retardant at the moment. We aren't really regaining health at the rate that I'd like from eating, and we are absolutely out of food at the moment. Luckily, these birds seem to have obliged. I'm going to swing by the fire over here, then we're going to run to the west and check our rabbit traps real fast. I feel like winter is a lot more about hunkering down and just really taking things as they come. Hopefully it ends pretty soon. I mean, the winterometer has not been displaying any differences for us. I am going to ditch this hammer so I can have extra space though, and then we'll put that in there. And then on the way over here, it looks like we've got some bunnies, so hopefully that'll get us through the night, get a little bit of health back. Damn, we got a false positive there. I don't know if that's a random fail condition. I'm not really sure how that works, or if you have to check your trap within a certain amount of time. It's only been like a day since I set these, so I'm a little disappointed by the fact that we didn't catch anything, but we will get a morsel from that bird we caught. So we'll make do with what we have. We will be content. We will practice our Zen Buddhism, and we will practice contentment with what we have, even though we're basically on the edge of starving. It's very difficult to be content. I have extreme admiration for anybody that can be content while starving. I could try and be content in any other situation, but if I don't have food, contentment, I feel, is rapidly going to dwindle. So we'll eat, well, we're going to lose 75. Our crops still have not grown in. He keeps assuring me that it's still growing, but I can't really see any difference through the days between any of these, so I've been keeping an eye on them, and hopefully, oh no, we have a full moon, so hopefully our pigs choose to go inside and stay the hell away from us, because we do not have the stocks right now to fight off an actual pig invasion, and I'm conflicted whether I want to sleep through the evening right now. There's not a whole lot of things for us to aspire to at the moment, but I think we could probably, yeah, let's get away with it. I mean, if you wait through the night, you don't lose as much hunger, so it's kind of a contest of boredom, like how long do you want to sit around, basically. Let me take a look and see with pig huts what kind of resources we have. Okay, we have enough resources to build ourselves another pig hut. Let me get a temporary campfire thrown out here. There we are, and maybe that'll give me the view radius necessary to get to a pig house. Nay, unfortunately not, so I'll just make myself a torch. And now that we have that, we'll throw this on the ground for just a moment. I'm going out here unarmed. I like that new glow effect. That new glow effect is pretty nice. And so we'll plant a couple pig houses out here so that we can get that done as well. So I think a nice spacing for this. Why is there glowing going on over there? I'm not sure how I feel about general glowing occurring in my presence. And that pig was out at night. That was a very scary thing for us. Oh, they're fireflies. Okay. And there are things that you can make with fireflies. Now, I haven't messed around with it too much. Our torch is about 50% done, so we do want to be careful so we don't end up in the pitch black here. And our houses, let's get them arranged nicely. There we are. And so that's going to be our final pig. Let's grab that turf, because I'm going to use that as fuel for the rest of the evening. And I love being productive through the night. Who doesn't love being productive through the night? Most people at work, that's who. If you've ever had to work a shift through the evening, it is no fun. It is definitely a downer. So now that we have our pigs taken care of, most of the spiders are actually in the 3rd to 4th tier of their nests, and it's very, very dangerous for us to fight them right now, which is leading me to be a little cautious about really trying to collect any more of this webbing. Now, I would like to get more webbing so that we can make some more traps, hopefully so that we can subsist off the things that we catch, but at the moment, oh, you little bastard. He's eating the bait out of my traps, you moron. I hate you so much right now. Bastard pigs. I think the pigs would be cooler in, well, they're already pretty cool because they're out in the snow, but I think the pigs would actually be a little bit more adorable. I'd like them a little better if they had little coats when they went out during winter, but maybe cuteness is not a factor into which the developers are looking. Let's go check our traps. That's always, I think most of the bunnies tend to come out during the day, right when morning starts, so maybe we'll check our traps on time this time, and we won't actually get screwed into losing valuable food resources here. Winter definitely feels more deadly, guys. Winter is feeling not quite so friendly. And now, where can we get some food from? Let's go check out this biome. We'll do a little bit of exploration this time. We're not going to focus too much on gathering anything at the moment. We'll get some winter exploration done, just kind of see what happens. Hopefully we don't run into Angus McTusk or whatever the hell his name is, because he seems like he could outfight us. He comes with a little, I think it's his son, or like a baby walrus or something of that nature. Well, there's a gobbler out in winter. I will punch you. Now, flowers are still growing. See, there's a little bit of a conflict of interest here, because flowers and things are still growing. Grasses and whatnot appear to still be growing. But anything that feeds us is not growing right now. We are just toast at the moment in terms of food, so I really hope this doesn't last too much longer. I am not a fan of winter, guys, and while we haven't run into any of the nasty beasties and monsters that tend to be around during winter, which I'm very thankful for, because it could be worse. We could be getting hit by nasty hounds and things of that nature right now, and we have been semi-lucky at the moment with the fact that we haven't been assailed, but, you know. Okay, so we've got some more spider webs down here, so this whole area is kind of mum for us. This kind of area is off limits. We really don't want to get ourselves into a large-scale battle at the moment. We just kind of want to live and let live, which is really what people generally want to do when they're outgunned. I've noticed a distinct tendency between human beings that when they're outgunned, they're always like, oh, let's have peace. But, you know, when they've got the bigger guns, they're always making demands. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've noticed that from my fellow human beings, and don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Oh my god. What is this? A little cache of... Oh my god, there's a little cache of food down here? What? This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Alright, let's take care of business, guys. So we got our fire. We're going to stand there for just a second so we can get some health back, and we are going to loot the living hell out of these bushes. These bushes are going to get us through winter, and then I'm also considering maybe digging them up. I hope this pig doesn't get offended that I'm taking his winter food supply, because if he does, we'll beat him to death. And I just said not to be that guy, but we outgun him at the moment, and I'm going to be that guy. If he wants to come at us, we're going to take him out. It's going to be with a vengeance. This is survival mode right now, so you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do when you're in a survival situation. So let's see. We don't have a lot of space left open. We do have this extra axe laying around. And what I think I'm going to do for now is we'll leave the bushes laying around, and we will just grab all of these berry bushes and loot them. We'll take as many berries as possible so that we can survive conceivably for as long as possible during the course of this winter. And I really hope... Oh, you little bastard, hiding in the berry bushes. He's hiding in the bushes. He's pulling a Vietnam as gorilla spider, which is so much worse than monkey spiders or ninja spiders. Gorilla spiders are by far the worst, and I'm getting myself back into trouble again. My latent desire for revenge is really impeding my ability to survive right now. We took a hit right there, but our health's okay. Hopefully we'll make it back to camp. I'm always nervous when I run during dusk. It doesn't matter whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall. I get nervous whenever I'm running during the dusk in this game. It's a little terrifying, but hopefully things will turn out alright. We don't have too large of a run back. I'm interested in kind of charting out some of these wormholes at the moment, since our sanity appears to have recovered. Between sleeping and a good diet, we appear to have gotten much, much more sane. Our medications are going through, and namely, really the only thing we have to medicate with is berries right now. And while they heal us a moderate amount, berries don't make the best medicinal extract. I mean, they'll get you by, but they aren't so good. And I feel really good now that we found that berry field down there. I'm actually thinking about relocating all of those berries up to here so we can just have an enormous berry farm, which would keep us very well fed. And I resisted the urge there to say very well fed. If there was somebody named Barry on screen, I probably would have done it, but what can you do? Now let's throw these in the fridge. And let's see what we can do here. Let's see what happens when we do this. I'm interested in finding out what we're going to get out if we do something like that. So let's throw the rest of them in there. We'll check our bird traps. At least they didn't eat. The pigs did not screw me by eating the meat out of that one. So at least they stayed the hell away from our dinner ticket there. Of course, the bird didn't drop anything. He dropped a snowbird feather, which isn't going to help us much. And it looks like we got... Let's see if these hurt us at all. Oh, so there is a way. I think somebody mentioned that recipe because I'm pretty sure I didn't think that up on my own. I'm fairly positive somebody said something about meatballs in the last episode or two. So if it was you, thank you very much because that recipe is going to help us out a load. We are actually going to be able to make those. Did pretty well by us. That actually got us up to the amount of hunger fulfillment that I would like to stay at. So now that kind of nightfall is coming, I may sleep through tonight since we have a new food source. We're not really worrying about starving at the moment. We got all those berry bushes down there, and I'm pretty sure I didn't get them all. Where there's one, there's usually many, and I know that pigmen on occasion have carrot farms down there too, so we're going to hoof it once it's time, and we're going to go down there and see if he's got a carrot farm as well, and see if we can just loot the hell out of him. Because he can't really fight back. Until they fix the AI and make it so they get offended when you steal from their farms, we're in pretty good condition. A snowbird feather. I really don't know what to do with the snowbird feathers just yet. I know that the crow's feathers are for blow darts, and the redbird feathers are for sleepy darts, I think. Maybe sleepy darts? We've got some extra stone here, so let's build up this while we go through our evening. And once we get that done, there we go. We actually look like we have a home now. We actually look like we have a home, and nothing has come around to chew on our walls yet. Luckily, most of the things in this harsh biome don't seem to like to eat stone, so at least we're fortunate there that nothing seems to dine upon a lithic diet. And it's still a full moon. Do full moons last for 2 days? I don't think they do. I'm not really a master of the lunar cycle, though. Maybe if one of our cosmological friends can enlighten us on that regard. That brings me to my next question. What is an area of like not everybody has the opportunity for upper level education, and that, you know, that sucks, but everybody's interested in something. Like, everybody's got that educational hobby, like something they like to read about, whether it's like electrical manuals or mechanical manuals. Like, I really enjoy reading white papers for motherboards and things of that nature. I get a huge kick out of new technology and things of that nature. I'm a technophile, I can't help it. What are your interests? And this is a little different than the hobbies. Like, what is an academic interest of yours? Or if you had the opportunity to study something, what would it be? That's going to be our question of the day. So if you had an opportunity to study something, what would it be? Obviously, mine would be geology, but in a life past, I was also a computer science major. I wasn't very good at it, though, which is why I had to swap out. I made it to my junior year, and I just could not do it anymore. I had good teachers, but I feel like my skull was just a little too dense to really get the job done. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. I was going to tutoring like 5 days a week, and I still, 5 days a week tutoring doesn't leave a whole lot of free time, and on top of that, I still wasn't getting it. So I figured maybe this just isn't for me, and if that makes me a quitter, maybe it does. And it's always something that I've regretted a little bit, like that I didn't see that through, because I always wanted to make video games. But the good thing is, half the guys making indie games nowadays don't have a college degree either, so it's something you could figure out. Maybe down the line I'll look into programming in Python again, or learning how to do one of those cool little languages, but for now, I'm going to study geology and just kind of be content with what I've done thus far. And, if the channel keeps getting bigger, maybe someday I'll be able to do this and make entertainment for you guys for a living. Wouldn't that be a treat? That would just be... If something like that would happen, you would actually have to say that dreams do come true. Like, I am tempted, to be a cynic and just be grumpy about dreams and feel like Disney lied to all of us, but, sometimes some people succeed, so it's got to happen for some people, right? So, and that's really how you deal with stuff like that. Like, whenever you see somebody successful, I've seen some people that get jealous of other people's success. The best way to deal with that is just to see other people's success and realize that that's just an indicator that it can happen to you someday. It's proof that it can happen. And once you start looking at things that way, it helps you get by in life, and it cuts down on that jealousy that I see so many people afflicted by, and that I myself used to be afflicted by. I mean, it's hard not to be jealous sometimes. It's tough. It's something I think we all have to struggle with at some point, learning how to deal with those green gills. You know what I mean? So let's get these berry bushes, because speaking of jealousy, I am jealous as hell of this pig's food supply. No, you back off, pig. No, don't eat that either. Jeez. So basically, if pigs eat... Pig, you better back off, buddy. I will fight you for these berries. It's prison mode up in here. It is prison mode up in here. Ain't nobody getting a hand on my berries. You never want somebody fondling your berries when you're in a survival situation, especially when prison rules. Prison rules are like martial law, and you definitely don't want berry fondling occurring under prison law. So this pig appears to be sleeping on the ground, and we'll take the berries. We're not going to dig out any more bushes, but we are going to look around for that carrot farm I was talking about. If we can get a decent supply of carrots, we are going to be in even better condition. I'm surprised by the sheer volume of pigs we have on this map, by the way. We have a decent amount of pigs, which used to be a problem. Like, it used to be difficult to find pigs in any consistency. Now it seems like they've remedied that issue entirely. So all in all, I'm very impressed with this new patch. Klei Entertainment, as always, has just delivered a great product, one that I'm so happy that I get a chance to play. Like, because if you think about it, 15 years ago, nobody got to play this game. Like, they didn't even have the option, and just being born in the right time period allowed you to play this game. Sometimes I think about that, like the various employment opportunities that exist now that didn't exist, like in medieval times and things like that. Like, you had like 3 job choices in medieval time. Like, you could gather sticks. There was like people that brewed beer because getting drunk was the only way they could make it through the day, which, you got a hard life. If it's the way you get through the day, it's the way you get through the day. And then aside from bundling sticks and making beer, like, it seems like you had farmers like beer makers and stick gatherers, and that's really my overall conception of peasant society in medieval times. I watched a documentary. I'm a bit of a documentary basically a documentaphile, I guess would be the word I would use. I love documentaries. I'm always watching them. I don't know if you guys are into documentaries, but I just love learning things. Like sometimes you find out interesting little factoids, although you got to be careful with documentaries because sometimes they can be really, really stilted. Like they can definitely be rigged in favor of one member of the opposition. And if you end up on one of those documentaries, I can see them being kind of offensive because I really feel like a documentarian should always be trying to be objective. Like you really shouldn't inject your opinion into a pure documentary. I mean, you can if that's the purpose. If your documentary is to convince people, or it's like an accusatory documentary, obviously you're coming in with a mission, but in general, if you're just trying to do like showcase a certain, I'm starting to freeze. So if you showcase an aspect of life or something of that nature, you should really make a conscious effort, an effort with your conscience. No, you should make a conscious effort to kind of, to be bipartisan and not favor one side or the other. That being the case, I'm having trouble thinking of ways that we can pass the time during this evening, so I think I'm going to cut the episode off a little early. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here on the 27th day of our survival. This one's going pretty well. I mean, I was a little worried coming in. I may let my sanity start dropping again. I had a little bit of a panic attack in the last episode, guys. I couldn't help it. Once they start trying to put my fire out, and then I have to worry about Charlie showing up and trying to bite us, I feel like that horrible pang deep down in my stomach. So I panicked, I made a sleep, and so we are going to try and make nightmare armor and things of that nature once winter starts to die down, because I really don't want to deal with more than one thing at a time. So that's our mission for the future. I'll try to think up some other fun stuff to do, and I'm glad you decided to join me here. So I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there.